Hello friends, thanks for tuning in today. This video is going to be mostly Tarte makeup. The reason why I chose to do that was it like 2 weeks ago they were running this sale where you could choose like 6 or 7 different products and your grand total was going to be like $69, I think was the deal. And this was getting so hyped up left and right on social media, and I'm not normally one to be like, oh, that's the thing to do, let's go do it too. But when I looked at what was on sale, there were actually several things I wanted to try. I knew for a while I'd been wanting to test out their Tartelette tubing mascara because this has looked really good on so many people and my lashes need the help. So I knew I'd been wanting to try that. I saw that the Maneater Blush and Glow was also involved in the sale, and I love these products, and I realized there were quite a few new shades, so like I wanted that, and I wanted to try one of the lip colors, so I thought that's enough to constitute doing this sale, and then I'll fill in the blanks with a few other things. I guess the 7th thing is the little makeup bag. The thing with the sale is you couldn't just get on there and be like, I want 6 different blushes. They have it go category by category, so there's like something for base. You pick an eye product, you pick a cheek product, a lip product, and so on, you know? So anyway, I did that. The shipping took a really long time, and just the day before yesterday it came in. I experimented with this yesterday and actually had amazing staying power with my look, and it was a hot day spent partially out in the sun. I was impressed. But I feel like it's been a good long while since I've done anything super Tarte focused here outside of like just the occasional holiday kits. So I wanted to put a look together with the things I got in this sale, and I may need to fill in the blanks with some other either random products or random Tarte things that I have. So for my base product, I chose the Tarte BB Blur Tinted Moisturizer with SPF 30 in light medium. Not brand spanking new from Tarte's line by any means. I think I remember having a mini of this at one point in time, got it as a sample or something, and I just thought this might be good for summertime, and I got a shade that I thought would work for me even as my skin maybe gets a bit more tan. But wearing this yesterday, I was super impressed by how well this actually lasted, how evenly it wore. And it is a really like smooth texture. If you were to blend this out with your fingers, like it feels downright silky going across the skin. And yeah, I already have my skincare on and just my usual daily SPF, but this will give me a little more SPF. It would be super easily blendable just with your fingers. I am going to use a brush, but it's got like a really special texture, and it's pretty perfecting, kind of blurring on the skin as the name claims. But I was not expecting amazing staying power out of this stuff, and I mean, we were on the playground, we were outside several times, hot cars, sweating and all. I was not expecting a lot, but it turned out well. So can you see this? I feel like it's medium coverage. Like I can still see through to my little freckles and, you know, under eye discoloration and this and that. But I would have to say it's doing more than the average tinted moisturizer, and it's giving my skin, I look across the nose, it's giving me this just kind of blurred look. Cool stuff, and not brand new. Let me know if you're a fan of that. I think because I picked that, I couldn't pick like another face thing. I already have Tarte concealers on hand, so this is just my regular old Shape Tape. This is in the shade Light, so I'll just use a little bit of that here today. I was really excited when this order came though, because I was like, man, that took a while. This sale must just be so darn popular, they're swamped. Just a little of the traditional Shape Tape. I also like the Radiant version, but it had been a while since I used good old regular Shape Tape. And a cat is throwing up a hairball downstairs. Just bouncing in with the Beauty Blender. I feel like this always makes the full coverage concealers look their best. Kind of takes the edge off a little bit, you know? And I just love this e.l.f. sponge. I was actually thinking about buying a Beauty Blender the other day, but then I thought, no, you have that e.l.f. sponge and it feels like a traditional Beauty Blender. So you don't really need it. Okay, I think we're doing good. Make sure you're all blended in. I think that plays into the staying power, you know? You gotta make sure things aren't too heavy in certain places. Working in thin layers really helps it last. I don't remember what category this stuff was in, but I chose this Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Pressed Finishing Powder in translucent. I don't feel like a lot of people talk about this. It came with a little brush too. I don't know if the brush could really fit in the compact. Oh, it does. I just didn't know if I'd want it to sit on directly on the powder. So it is a usable brush, like it's somewhat tapered, it could sweep across the skin. But what I did yesterday that worked so well for me, I used this powder under my eyes. And now one thing to know, it's not just a standard translucent powder that you might swatch. Like I've got one from Wet n Wild, let's say, and it's like just a pressed white looking powder. This has that really, really thin feel. It feels super dry to the touch, and you almost wonder, am I picking up any powder? But you are. NARS makes a powder like this. I think it's called light reflecting pressed powder. This is like that, but more comes off. You definitely are picking up more with like your powder puff or a brush or whatever. So I just decided to take my powder puff and pat it in under the eyes. And this wore super nicely for me yesterday. And I'm gonna press it in around my nose too. And just to feel it, it feels smooth, but it really doesn't look heavy. Honestly, it's pretty darn invisible. A lot less powder probably just got applied there than my usual days. All over my face is not super tacky, but I am gonna set it a little bit. One powder I'm gonna try, actually in powder foundation mode probably in the coming days, is this Maybelline Superstay. Just kind of wanting to rediscover it. I've had it on hand for a while. I have it in 128. The other day I just picked up a little bit of that and just used it lightly everywhere outside the under eye area. So we've already got that covered. And yeah, it probably is adding just a smidge more coverage too, but I am being super light with this. All I want is just an all over set. I was about to say I don't have a Tarte bronzer. I forgot I do have this one. Did not get this in the sale, but just had it already. It's their Breezy Cream Contour in Seashells. This has kind of gotten a little bit dry feeling. I almost decluttered this from my collection recently. I don't know, if I work my finger into it, I guess I can get a little more creaminess out of it. So I'll just dab that on today for the purpose of staying tart. Blending all right once you just like thin it out onto the skin a bit like that. But like there are just so many good creamy contour products out there right now. I was just thinking about that yesterday. If I made a big list or an overall ranking of easiest to use cream contour products, like there would be so many things involved. So I'm just buffing over this. Tone is good. I don't know if they're even selling this product still. It was interesting how some of the things in the different categories, and maybe this was just because like I didn't shop this sale immediately after it opened up, but it was interesting how some of the things I saw available were pretty new and fairly hyped items for Tarte, like, their Shape Tape Concealer and this mascara I was able to get. But then there were a lot of things that have just been around a while, and then like some eye palettes that I really didn't know too much about at all. One of those is coming. Okay, so I got that blended in. Was not my favorite process. It's just a little dry, but it gave us some color and some definition. Now for blush, I was super excited to try this. I love these Maneater Blush and Glow products. I have a full size of the shade called Peachy Pink, and then I had gotten a holiday kit as well that gave some still ample size products. Like these are huge tubes, but their holiday kit was like, I don't know, it looked like a normal size tube. It looked about this big or something. But they're all kind of like soft neutrally tones, and I noticed they had some really pretty bright colors available now. So I got the shade Strawberry, and to look at it, it seems like just a creamy color. I don't know that there's a lot of shimmer in this. If there is, it's very subtle. A little of this goes a long way. I haven't felt that way so much about the other shades that I have. They feel like really a combined like pigment and glow type of thing, and the shades are just kind of softer, so I didn't have to watch myself as much. This I do have to watch myself with a little bit. Putting one dot with the knowledge that I can build it up. Okay, I maybe could have gone a little more than that. But it's super fresh. It really looks like skin that's gotten some sun. A little gentle summer sunburn. Not trying to glamorize sunburns, but we're doing it with makeup. It's so pretty, and I really like the way these blend. And once I do blend it out, I can see, yeah, there's some form of glow in this. You just can't really see it in the tube. Once it thins out, I can see. So pretty. I'm gonna add a little more. A little bit right there. See this pretty, just rosiness? Oh, it's so fun. Just gives you that kind of healthy, vibrant look. I'm really glad I tried this. And then we need a little bit of highlighter. I'm not sure if I have a Tarte highlighter. I'll have to look. Okay, I just grabbed for a random one. This is e.l.f. Moonlight Pearls. Or is it Moonlit? Moonlight. By the way, who else is keeping up with Days of Our Lives right now? Because a major thing has come to a head. A major storyline with Nicole's baby and Sloane finally owning up to Eric, but not fully owning up because it's Eric's baby too. Every scene where Eric appears now, it just breaks my heart. I feel like he's gonna win something big, the actor who plays Eric on there. I am convinced he is just miserable over this, as he should be. And EJ's such a strange character. For some reason, I find myself at times like rooting for EJ. Like there's something I like about him, but he truly is a villain. At his core, he has villainous tendencies. Okay, so there's my complexion right now. I feel like everything looks really perfected and blurred and good, and I'm just gonna do my brows. I don't have any Tarte brow stuff, so I'll just do that real quick because it's not really super exciting. We still have 3 products that I got in the sale: the eye palette, the mascara, and a lip color. Okay, did brows, put on Milani eyeshadow primer, and this is the eyeshadow option that I chose in this sale. It's the Dream Always palette from Tarte. They just had some random little palettes that I hadn't really heard of before. It wasn't like they were putting up Tartelette in Bloom and like all these different things, unless maybe they did and they sold out really early on in the process. Again, I think I was kind of late to actually doing an order, but this is a pretty palette and this created a good look, and I unapologetically love browns right now. So this is gonna be your brownish bronzy palette. There's only 3 shimmers in it, so shimmer, 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 and they're all pretty loud. So I'm gonna do a little look with this. I did a look yesterday and I thought, wow, this feels like fall to me, but I liked it. I'm gonna take Lucky right here in the middle of the palette with my Profusion crease brush. And I'm kind of liking trying to bring my initial crease shades and other darkness, bring it in just a little bit more. Like you don't only have to create lift at the outer part of the eye. If you've got room, you can lift up above that crease line, even here on the inner part. And sometimes I don't think about that, but lately I have been, so that's what I'm doing all throughout that area. But the textures are nice. I mean, they feel as soft as normal like Tarte mattes. Sometimes in their bigger palettes, like those bigger man-eater palettes, I feel like the shimmers have been a little bit hit and miss. Some of them are kind of chunky flaky from Tarte, but the texture they've got going on in the Tartelette palettes, regardless of matte or shimmer, it tends to be pretty good. And this seems kind of like that, but it doesn't have that vanilla-ish smell to it. It doesn't seem to have a smell at all. But here we are, just taking that warm medium brown, getting it all blended in. There's a peach right above it called Dreamer. I'll get a little bit of that too and let that come over the edge. We love a gentle fade. And yeah, it's just a good basic palette. I can't say like, oh my gosh, run out and get this because it's just leaps and bounds different from every other neutral bronzy thing I own. It's not. Could I achieve this look out of other things? I believe I could. This was the option in the sale. I was completing my duty of ticking off each little option for what you had to choose. I'm gonna take Daydream down here. It's kind of a rosy brown. This was my choice and I do like it. I'm just building that up, mainly that shade in the like outer half of my crease. And there's a kitten scratching on a door. As usual, I'm shooting this Saturday video on Thursday morning, and I want you to be thinking about me and Bub because we're embarking on sort of like a version of 75 hard. I think he called it 60 semi-hard. I don't even know. Bub and a friend of his kind of like crafted this whole list of rules for it, and I'm gonna be working out 2 times a day for 30 minutes each. I'm gonna be reading a book before bed. I'm gonna be not using a phone within an hour of waking up. We're gonna be following like the Mediterranean diet. It all starts Saturday. Pray for me. It's like they kind of formed this list. I don't know how many other people they got on board with this. I am excited, but I'm also a little bit scared. I think I'll do great once I get in a routine, because if I can just harness something into a great everyday routine, I'm capable of sticking to it. But it's gonna be hard those first few days, I think. Oh, and they're starting off with a fast. They're gonna do a 3-day fast to start it, a 7-day fast in the middle, a 3-day fast to end it. Me, given my history with migraines, I'm not getting involved in any fasting. Not that I wouldn't totally enjoy just completely not eating for days, but I just know in my body, like the times I've gotten a migraine have been when I've like missed a meal. Anyway, let's move on to another shadow, shall we? I'm gonna go to Aspiration down here, this matte brown. And we're just gonna get that brown going. I just really like the way these look on my skin tone, on my eye color. When I worked in some of these bronzy colors the other day, I thought, wow, I think that's really doing a favor for my brown eyes. So I'm getting that darkness there on my lid and up into the crease, outer part. But no complaints about this palette. It's just not ultra unique whatsoever. If you find yourself in a situation where they're doing this deal again and you see the Dream Always palette, know that you won't be disappointed. It's just not very unique. I'm taking my small pointed brush. I'm going to the next shade over. It's called Wonder, and it's just a little bit lighter, you know, than the other brown. And that's the perfect kind of shade for me to take in the crease and just help everything blend up and out. And maybe we take it inward a little bit too. But you see how nicely softening that is when you go like one shade up from your dark color and use that to help you blend. We've been working with this strategy for a while lately and it is beneficial. Okay, I maybe got a little bit more darkness over here. That's okay. We will even it all out in the end, my loves. What's gonna be hard for me with this health challenge is when the kids want something like non-Mediterranean diet and I have to dish that out to them and not have some myself. I'm just getting a little more dark right there. I am well stocked on sugar-free snow cone syrups, and I think that's going to be the way I survive. I think I'm allowed to do that. Oh, it's a gallon of water every day also. What other things? It feels radical to me. I'm going to do my best. Okay, so we've got that dark shade just all up in here. We're taking a crease brush and we're hitting the edges, kind of like blending it out, shearing it out. Really just falling into the brownness of what these shades are capable of. And then I've got this color here called Gratitude. We also have a rusty shade up here. Oh, I remember what I did with Hope. I'm gonna do this again. Go into Hope. It's a little less full on compared to those two guys there, this one and this one. Hope is a really nice rust. And that kind of looked pretty sheared out up in here. If you want to try that, if you like kind of a reddishness, warmth coming out. I think this palette can look summery or like anytime appropriate on the eyes. But when you really lean into that dark brown, it just makes me think fall. Gratitude is the one I'm going to take here with my smaller flat brush. And I'm just going to start patting that down over the remaining open space on my lid. It can be very full on. If I use a brush, I feel like I have to build it a little bit more. If I swiped it on with my finger, then it'd be like, whoa. But it is still capable of a brush application. You know what song I've had in my head ever since the Idol finale, honestly? Like, I get songs in my head long term. Who else is like that? It doesn't really change. Like, I had Skid Row from Little Shop of Horrors in my head for at least 3 weeks. And now it's the CeCe Winans and the guy Roman. We loved Roman. They sang this duet. It was Goodness of God, and that song is amazing, but they really sang it. But it's a great song to have in your head. It keeps you in a good place mentally. I'm going to take some Shine On right here. A little more champagne-y. But I'm just walking around the house putting on a little gospel concert most of the time. Great though when it rubs off on the kids and then they start singing it and humming it and I'm like, that's good. All my life you have been so good. Okie dokie. We've got all this pretty bronzy brown shadow look going on top of the eye. I'm inclined to take a stick called Cold Brew that you've just never ever heard me bring up on this channel from Hard Candy. I'm gonna take this on the lower lash line because it just seems right. Oh yeah. And then I won't have to worry about staying power. And then I'm not going to do any specific liner on my upper lash line because I want to focus in on this mascara and really see what it's doing for my lashes. Hello, lower lash line, like where are you? It's the Tartelette Tubing Mascara, and props to Tarte. This packaging feels luxurious. It feels weighty. It looks beautiful. I'm already like into the idea. But yeah, I wore this yesterday and I thought the curl holding was actually decent and it definitely did not smudge. I put it on upper and lower lashes. I played at a playground. I sweat and it stayed. It built on itself rather well. So yeah, I'm feeling good about this. I just feel like I've heard rave reviews left and right on this product. Although I'm not really eager to get a high-end mascara going in my life that I can't live without, you know? But I gotta admit, she builds and she builds length quickly. Immediately really lengthening and not too wet of a formula. The brush, by the way, is skinny, gentle cone shape, very short bristles, really easy to manage. But yeah, she's tubing, so you're not going to be encountering smudging and smearing. It's just going to come off in little bits are just going to release from your lashes when you remove your makeup. I definitely feel like a 30-minute walk should be able to count as one of the exercises that I do per day for this challenge. Like, I will do one workout that is 30 minutes of maybe like a YouTube video leading me through some kind of aerobic workout, or I've got these fitness bands, exercise bands, whatever you call them. Maybe I can find some workouts for those so I can be doing maybe a little more of a strength thing. And then Bub and I were picturing maybe an evening walk being the last workout of the day. Oh, we're supposed to journal as well. Bub supplied me with a new journal. And there's certain books we're reading. It's like a book club too. This is intense. How we looking? Like, really good. Actually really nicely lengthened out. And you feel like you could just keep building and building with this stuff. I don't know how many coats this is exactly, but like, I think probably 3 coats by now over here and 2 over there. And then, yeah, for sure, go ahead and get it going on the lower lashes. I think sometimes the reason why my left eye doesn't turn out as good mascara-wise as my right eye is because, like, I rush the coats there a little bit more. Like, I'll end up just building on top of always really wet mascara instead of taking the time to let it rest, to let it set a minute. So I'm trying to be better about that. It's always good to feel like you're on the verge of a sneeze at this mode, at this point. Body, it's not happening. You save that sneeze for another time. Now, maybe, is the time for my final little coat over here. There's the lashes though, guys. I don't know if that's showing anything to the camera, but the length is totally there. Again, I can vouch for the fact that it's not smudging on me at any point in the day. I'm happy I tried it. It reminds me of kind of like a Thrive Liquid Lash Extensions vibe, but I believe more dramatically lengthening than that. And the e.l.f. Lash Extender is kind of in the ballpark of these types of mascaras, these tubing, length building mascaras. But I think this might go even further in making the lashes look kind of thick too. But let's move on to the lip color that I chose. I got one of the Maracuja Juicy Lip Creams. I've tried several of their little clicky pen products, the Maracuja Juicy Lips. I've got some shades that are really good in that. Most recently, I think it was in a holiday kit. There was one called Honeysuckle. Came with the lip liner. Yeah, the Juicy Lip Liner and Honeysuckle. Everything was Honeysuckle. But I thought I want to see what another product is like that's not just this Juicy Lip formula. So I got the lip cream in the shade Honeysuckle. So it twists up. It's a skinny, slim lipstick here that twists up, and it feels really like a traditional cream lipstick. This tone is beautifully rich, and this is what really gives a fall vibe along with the eye once this goes on. But I'm liking this tone of lip really anytime. Smell is good. It's softly coconut, but it's not over the top shiny. I had a little bit of balm there that I probably should have wiped off. But, you know, it's accurately named a lip cream. It's a cream formula lipstick here. And I love this color a lot. Not ultra unique for me, but see how nicely this slim stick was able to get me out to the edge of my lips and really not make me feel like, oh, I need a lip liner to neaten things up. I love a slim lipstick design. As far as I'm concerned, I wish all lipsticks were cut that slim. But that's my look, you guys. Using all my new Tarte stuff and some old Tarte stuff, actually. I feel like we need to do a ranking of the things that I got in this sale. By the way, the bag was nice. The bag is big. It's got a couple little snaps on here. Loads of room inside for this stuff and way more. Number one thing that I got. Gosh, it's actually pretty tight. There was nothing that I got that I really didn't like. I would have to say the number one most impressive to me is this BB Blur Tinted Moisturizer with the SPF 30. The way that was able to wear on a hot day, the way it's able to feel light and silky going across the skin, but still give about a medium coverage and give me some added SPF, you know? I swear it looked like this pretty much all day yesterday, and I put it through some stuff. So granted, I did set it, you know, I set my under eye, I set all over with a little bit of powder, but nonetheless, this was my foundation all over underneath, and it wore really well, and that's important to me. So I like the look, I like the wear, I like the ease of use. So that's number one. Close behind that, I would have to put the tubing mascara. I think that worked beautifully. I enjoyed how long but also how thick it's making my lashes. Right now I'm at a point where I could reinforce the curl because it's like almost all the way dry. And maybe you can tell a little bit more the great length I'm having, but that's really good for me. Again, it wore well, it did not smudge. I would say next, this Maneater Blush and Glow in the strawberry shade. This is such a fun color. I went lighter with it today than I did yesterday. Yesterday I looked like I had not just a gentle sunburn, but a severe sunburn. This looks more like blush to me, but it's totally buildable. You can put on a little or a lot, and I think it's a very fun shade for summer. I feel like I'm gonna wanna use it a lot. Next one, I would say maybe the lip cream. I think this is a beautiful feeling product on the lips. I absolutely love that deep, dusty rose brownish color, and I love the cut of the lipstick. Frankly, I probably enjoy this even more than just their juicy lip products that click up and are more like a sheer gloss. Then between these last two, I have that little setting powder, the Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Pressed Finishing Powder, and the Dream Always palette. This is a really neat powder. I like it. I like that it's able to be so light and sheer but still get the job done from a setting powder perspective and make my under eyes look really unpowdered, but yet I put something there. So I'd say that one next, and then Dream Always, like, no offense, little cute palette, you're nice. And I love my eye look today, but this is just the type of color spread that you could find probably in a hard candy palette, in a Wet n Wild palette, you know. If you find yourself in a Tarte sale and you need one, like, this is good, but don't feel compelled to really like seek that out specifically. But I love my look today, you guys. I really like it. It's like a carbon copy of the look I did yesterday, but it was good to be able to test it under some hot conditions and be able to share a little bit more about staying power, but I think the skin looks good. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you took advantage of this sale, and did you pick any of the same things I did or some other items? Let me know, and I'll see you guys again very soon. I love you. Bye.